Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me, funny lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
And Mark, thanks so much for taking the time. Congratulations on the movie.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Look, I will tell you this. I'm a Beverly Hills Cop fan. I think the first two are the most rewatchable films of all time. I even like the third. And I was so eagerly anticipating this movie, and y'all knocked it out of the park. I loved it so much. And what I think was really great about it is you can be a longtime lover of the film series, and you're going to love the movie. But you can also visit it for the very first time and have not seen any of the previous three, and you'll still love the movie. Was that an intentional balance that y'all tried to create?
Yeah, totally. We wanted to really appeal to the original fans, but also bring a whole new audience into the franchise too. So and sort of a big part of that was to introduce new audiences to what a Beverly Hills Cop film feels like, and I think we did that.
You absolutely did that, and I think even with the opening sequence and having the original music back and just putting us back in that 1984, how much did you think about the elements that you were going to bring from the original series into this one?
Yeah, I thought a lot about that actually, because I have such love for Beverly Hills Cop 1 and Beverly Hills Cop 2. I had this amazing source of inspiration to draw from. So I really wanted to use the certain kind of elements that we know and love from those films and really cherry pick those to pull them into a modern day world. So, so we can create that sense of nostalgia, but also give the films that same spirit that those original films had. Yeah.
Now, I heard in an interview, I think it was Judge Nelson, Reinhold, talking about I think you wanted to do the banana in the tailpipe or something to that degree, and y'all couldn't maybe figure it out. Was that something that you were pushing for, was trying to find out how to work the banana in the tailpipe in?
Yeah, look, we talked about it a lot. And ultimately, what we decided to do was it was all about embracing the past, but it wasn't just about like recreating that. I spoke to Eddie a lot about it, and Eddie we talked about it. Eddie was like, new audiences don't know what this banana in a tailpipe, has to, they have no idea what that is. So, we chose certain elements to draw on from the past, but some we left there. We can leave that in Beverly Hills Cop 1.
Now, I know with any film comes pressure. There's so much on the line. There's so many moving parts, and you being the director, you're having to steer the ship, but also having a film that's tied to such a beloved franchise and really and truly the film series that made Eddie Murphy a motion picture star, a movie star. It was Beverly Hills Cop. What was kind of your thinking the first day before shooting? Like, what was that day before? What was your mind state?
I was pretty nervous, I'm not going to lie, because not just is this a big film, but this is my first film I've ever made. And so there was a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure from You know, obviously there's the weight of the franchise, you know, and me getting the keys to this franchise after coming from such great filmmakers before me was really, really humbling, really honoured. And I really just wanted to pay my respect and also make sure that it's almost a bit of a love letter to the franchise. And so, but yeah, it was. I really jumped in the deep end on this one. It was as a first film. There was a lot to think about.
Well, I can't imagine it being your first movie and it being this scale of it. What were some of the things that surprised you most about directing and being in that position?
I think the biggest thing was just when you get to work with the caliber of actors that I got to work with on this film. It was just such a dream, you know, to have that talent and for them to sort of take, you know, the stories kind of I had it in my head, but then they just elevated it so much. It was such a wonderful thing for me to be part of, to watch them kind of evolve what I had in my head into something totally different. Yeah.
In the first Beverly Hills Cop, it's pretty legendary that Eddie, because he got it last second when it was supposed to be a Stallone movie, and he kind of riffed his way through it. From at least that's what the legend has, is he's improving and he's kind of making it up as he goes along. As a director, that you're working off a script, this is your first movie. How much improv did you want on the set and allow to have with the actors, especially given the comedic performance by Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, and I know a lot about the legend of the improvisation on the especially the first film.
Right.
So what I wanted to do, my approach was to have a really great script on the page. We wanted to have it all on the page and really give it to not just Eddie but to Joe and all the other actors as a really great point for them to jump off from. And as we started shooting, I could feel the improvisation from Eddie was, you've got Eddie Murphy. So it was brilliant. And I saw very early, I was like, I need to really create the right space around Eddie for him to be able to work his magic. So I really worked hard on that to put the right actors across from him, to create the right environment on set where we could get what's on the page, but then let Eddie riff. And especially there's so much great improvisation between Eddie and Joe in a number of scenes, and the audience love it.
Now, I'm sure having Eddie there is really great from a collaborative standpoint. Like, it's almost as if you were making a Star Wars movie and having George Lucas right there. He created this character that we know and love. How many conversations would y'all have leading up to the film and then on set about, would Axel do this, or would this be something that he'd still be doing, and things of that nature? Yeah,
what was wonderful is when I very first sort of pitched to Eddie in our first conversation, we really talked about Axel, not just Axel, but Axel, it's 30 years since we've seen the character. And Eddie had such a distinct point of view on not just the character, but also how that time has changed him, and not just turning up and being the same Axel. We still want that same Axel and that grin and that sort of chaos that Axel brings, but also it's been 30 years and we had a whole new emotional undercurrent that's never really been in Beverly Hills Cop before. So we talked a lot about that, and that's actually what really drew me to the film. Was when I looked at the script, we've all seen Axel Foley, doing what Axel Foley does best, but we've never really seen Axel Foley vulnerable. And in this film, we get to see that, and what that really excited me, to give audiences a whole new side to the character that they've never seen before.
And what I loved what y'all were able to accomplish is I felt like I understood so much that happened in the gap between 3 and Axel F. Like, I understood the life that he led and kind of where he was. And the other thing that I really loved too is the scene at the hockey game. Is, to me, it was exactly what I wanted to see from Axel. That no, he might be older, but he's still the same guy at the end of the day. Why the decision to do it at the hockey rink, though? I just thought that was an interesting setting to find Axel, because I wouldn't expect him to be there.
Yeah, we played with a lot of different ideas for that opening scene. We loved the idea of the hockey Jerry Bruckheimer owns a hockey team too, so that was also a nice way to weave it in. But we sort of really talked a lot about how that opening scene, and really sort of how do we, it was great to kind of ground the audience and sort of sit there and just sort of sit with Axel for a moment and see exactly what you said, that he's still the same guy. But, you feel that things have changed and time has moved on.
When you got to see, this would be my final question for you, when you got to see the movie, after y'all wrapped, the stress of actually shooting is over, it goes through the edit, and you saw the final product, what was the first thing that went through your mind, it being the first film you got to see edited and completed?
I think I really spent a lot of time throughout the whole process of really trying to get the tone and the feeling of what a Beverly Hills Cop film should feel like. And as I watched that first edit, and even with the really rough music we had on it, I was like, we've got a Beverly Hills Cop film here. This is a Beverly Hills Cop film, and it felt right. And that's what really made me very happy.
Well, you all nailed it. I love this movie so much, and I know everybody else is going to love it. Whether you've seen Beverly Hills Cop or not, you're going to love Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F. Mark, you did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. I'm glad you love it.